know I've tweeted out before, Randy, maybe with the Cowboys, would that number fall somewhere between $12 and $14 million a year and stuff like that? And
I was going higher, like 15 to 18.
And I know there's other people have thought 16 to 18 with that. Well, again, gang of 7 guys are, they've been pretty good so far, and they've kind of given me an idea. And what's interesting is these guys don't know they're all gang of 7 guys, but they all kind of answer that they're gang of 7 guys. Well, they don't know each other that they're gang of 7 guys.
So this ain't like a group chat.
No. This is individuals. I go individuals here.
I kind of want to see what it would be like if it was a group chat and see all of the conversations bounce off of each other.
Yeah, no, that would be fun because it's a good group of guys. And but they were saying though that because I was interested and I asked this about Randy and one of my guys said he says Gregory just won't have a huge market, and I kind of said, well, why? And he says his age and his injury history will be a problem, and I said, oh, okay.
Doesn't have much injury history, does he?
That's what I'm saying. Well, he's got the knee that he kind of deals with now and stuff like that. He has to go with, and I said, well, okay, does like 8 to 10 million? Because I thought that was kind of a low offer when you say that. Or less on Randy, and my guy said, I would guess less.
Less than 8 to 10?
Yeah.
Holy cow.
He says, but who knows? He says he's a unique one. Could build something in with a max value as 8 to 10. So that was one of my guys. And I asked him about the Seattle trade. He said, surprised they were able to hammer those details out. That's a lot of work. So that was that with an 8 to 10. They're maybe even lower. If you're a Cowboy fan, if you're Cowboys, aren't you kind of thinking like, that might, these numbers might actually be reasonable.
That's really exciting to maybe
that's
get a
one
50%
team right now.
discount.
Yeah. The thing that
I do feel horrible for Randy because
right.
I have so much trust in that guy. I don't think he should be getting that treatment. I think that's the crusty culture of NFL front offices holding the old cannabis stuff against him. That's what it sounds like to me.
I do also wonder how much of this is folks are afraid of the guy who's shown them once that it can go bad. And I wonder how much they look at Dallas and go, he's working well, sure, but in that environment. If I change the environment, does that destabilize what that guy is? And again, I lean towards where you are, Gavin, where I think that some of this is, just some old guys leaning on their old interpretations. But I do understand how somebody would look up and go, let me think this all the way through because I can't afford to miss in that way.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally understand how it could be a concern, and maybe part of the reason they're thinking this low is they don't have the understanding that we've had from getting to interview him.
I've had guys ask me questions about Amari and Randy and guys like that. So they're interested. My other guy says I think Dallas would pay 8 to 10 if they could. He's thinking maybe it might be a little bit higher.
Okay.
He says if they can't, I can see this thing going lower. So they're kind of, he was kind of thinking that maybe Dallas was thinking about that number.
Big range.
Yeah, exactly.
So if you're Randy right now, are you thinking, hey, let's do a deal or let's get into free agency? Because if you get into free agency and the market kind of turns their nose up, now you're not in a very good position at all with the Cowboys. And if you're the Cowboys, do you want to get a deal done now or let him go test that market?
Yeah, if I'm Randy, if the Cowboys, and I kind of felt like if the Cowboys were, like I said, were to come somewhere between 12 and 14, I think he would automatically do that. But if all of a sudden the teams, if your agent's doing the legwork and you're kind of getting some feelers out there and you're talking to guys on my Gang of 7 team, they're telling you 8 to 10, 8 to 10, 8 to 10. If Randy wants to stay, maybe that's the 8 to 10 for the Cowboys too, or do you take that chance that there's somebody out there that'll give me 12, that's what I don't know if my legwork is like I'm doing right now. Like I said, if I kind of just keep hearing the number 8 to 10, maybe if I want to stay, I should do the 8 to 10. If that's what the Cowboys are offering, it's if you want to stay.
Yeah, if you really, really want to stay, to me, I think Randy would be in a tough spot with that one. I don't know how you guys look at it, but I know the Cowboys believed in me and kind of helped me through this, but they're also the league. and they're partners with the league, and they helped to create the culture and the league rules that ultimately held me accountable. So, or overly disciplined me, I think would maybe be a better description for what exactly happened there. So I kind of want to be cool to Jerry. I think I want to stay with the Cowboys, but if there's like extra millions of dollars, then at that point I would be like, man, you don't want to give me my value.
Yeah, exactly.
You saw what I just put on film.
Especially for a guy who's lost years.
There's no question.
Because of that. There should be $50 million in the bank right now.
There's a finite amount of earning potential or earning years for these guys, and that's why they're all trying to maximize it. It's why Tank didn't take a pay cut. These guys need to maximize this potential because this is not a career where you're going to be 40 years old, getting into car wrecks on the field.
I'm with you. My last guy here that chimed in before the show, he says, I still think he will get a guarded incentive level shorter term deal. Like a 2 to 3 year deal is what. And so again, I asked 8 to 10, less. What do you think? He goes, I could see between 6 and 8 with incentives.
Holy cow. Well, if the Cowboys do get something like that, it's an incredible gift. One I don't have a lot of faith they'll take advantage of. But if you're looking to add in the extra players, the J-Ron Curses and the Cedric Wilsons, this could really go a long way towards that if that's his real value.
I think if all of a sudden we see that the Cowboys sign Randy Gregory for $9-10 million, we would be like, man, Randy cut them a huge break, right?
Yeah.
Wouldn't we? That's what we would kind of say.
I think so.
And if he does cut you a break, does that put you in a place where maybe you are less inclined to move on from one of these guys that everybody's hemming and hawing about?
Save a guy.
Yeah, save a guy. Yeah,
that would be a really fortuitous development. Yeah. What if they can't get a deal done? What if it goes the other way and it's too high? And you could be seriously losing Tank and Randy at the same time?
My gut feeling is just kind of talking to some folks that maybe you would keep one and let the other go.
Okay.
That you can't just some of these deals hinge on if Gregory gets done or if, say, Gallup gets done, then maybe the other shoe will fall if you get those deals done.
214 asks, why is Randy's value so low? Dude is equal to Lawrence. It's legitimate at 29 years old.
Yeah.
Like Robert Quinn had that 11 sack season,
11 and a half,
and he got like $14 million a year.
Exactly, yeah.
So it's really different to be a free agent at 27 on the edge compared to 29. That's a legitimate reason. But I think the other thing is like people don't trust because there was so much said about the mental health, and I think they're holding that past against him.
There's a lot of things that these teams don't know about Randy Gregory, and hopefully they'll take the opportunity to learn about it.
And as a scout, do you have any insight into this? How well do these other teams know the guys on teams that are not theirs?
Yeah, they're trying. I mean, they're trying to learn. They're calling buddies and seeing what they can do if you've been with a guy or an agent, something like that.